This is Projection Sorcerer, the strongest boss killer in the entire game, and that's all due to his passive ability called Projection Sorcery. Duh. With 3 abilities and an ultimate all built around his passive, this unit is incredibly powerful against strong enemies, and he is potentially capable of dealing the highest amount of damage in the entire game. In this video, I will explain how his abilities work, what makes him so brutal against tanky targets, how to obtain him, and later on we are putting him to a test against some high waves in the Endless Gauntlet. Projection Sorcerer is the 3rd special grade unit obtainable through the Culling Game mode. After encountering and defeating the Naoya boss 10 times, you are able to craft this unit for yourself. Starting off with Projection Sorcerer's abilities, his passive applies stacks of projection on all of his attacks and abilities. Upon reaching 24 stacks, the target gets frame-locked, making them stunned. Naoya prioritizes frame-locked targets in his range, performing a special attack on them that punches through the target, shattering the frame, dealing a decent amount of damage, plus additionally up to 10% of the enemy's current HP. You heard that right? This effect, together with the rest of his abilities, which only make it easier to reach the 24 stacks, makes Naoya capable of dealing insane amounts of damage to tanky targets. Because no matter how much HP the enemy has, Naoya will always just take away 10% of their current HP, and it has no limit, meaning this effect can be used over and over by Naoya on the same target. Level 1 Naoya costs over 1200 to place, but he already starts with an ability and a passive. The first ability that Naoya starts with is called Forced Frame. Naoya applies full projection stacks onto the strongest target in his range, locking them in an animation frame immediately. This ability automatically targets the strongest enemies in his range, and it also gets further upgraded at levels 2 and 3, improving the amount of affected targets and making it immediately frame lock up to 3 strongest enemies in Naoya's range on level 3 and above. Then of course Naoya begins to deliver devastating blows to each one of them, one by one. This ability helps Naoya in clearing the toughest targets in the wave and makes the best use of his current HP percentage damage. At level 3, Naoya unlocks his second ability called Sound-Breaking Smash Kick. Naoya jumps into the air and then delivers a powerful kick onto the enemies on the path, dealing AoE damage and applying 8 projection stacks to all enemies hit. This ability is the only AoE projection stack source, so it is incredibly powerful against clumped enemies. Aside from the damage dealt, all targets are already a third of the way to the full 24 stacks, making it easy for Naoya to finish up the max stacks on them later. And at level 5, Naoya unlocks his third ability, Punch Barrage. Naoya blinks on top of his current target and starts performing a barrage of punches with multiple after images on the enemy, applying the projection stacks really quickly, but also dealing a decent damage over 8 seconds. And here is the best part. Normally, Naoya has to stop attacking the current target to go shatter a frame-locked enemy, but during the punch barrage, he doesn't. He shatters them and continues the punch barrage at the same time. So this ability is not only a great source of consistent damage, but it applies the projection stacks really quickly and enables Naoya to shatter frame-locked enemies as he continues dealing damage with the punch barrage. And finally, at level 6, Naoya unlocks his ultimate ability called Supersonic Speed. This is a click-to-use ability, which causes Naoya to run and constantly reactivate his technique, making him faster and faster. Just see it for yourself. After accumulating a lot of speed and energy, Naoya runs up to the first enemy on the path and starts applying full frame stacks to every single enemy, essentially frame locking all enemies on the map. Then he begins shattering them one by one, of course, insanely fast. Every single one of them takes the frame shatter 10% of current HP damage, and on top of that an increased amount of damage compared to a regular frame shatter. So this ability basically enables Naoya to straight up take away 10% of health from each enemy on the entire map, no matter how many enemies or how much HP they have. Plus, it deals a solid chunk of damage to each one of them on top of that. Alright, so we are in the Endless Gauntlet. Believe it or not, we are at wave 200, and I'm placing down Gojo just to stop the wave from progressing, to not lose immediately. And this is ridiculous. Like at wave 200 in Endless Gauntlet, Those enemies have such insane amounts of HP. The reason I'm bringing Gojo and Meguna here is to show you the damage comparison later on to Naoya. We are going to be using Meguna's domain to see how much damage he actually deals. Okay, the domain appears, this is the highest damage domain in the entire game, and look at that. The HP bar isn't even moving, like it's not dealing damage to them. They have so much HP that it just doesn't do anything. So, like, it's pretty crazy how tanky those enemies are. Now, for comparison, we are restarting the wave, we are again using Gojo's domain to just stop the enemies for a moment, and we are going to use Naoya's ultimate. As you can see, the enemies have this tremendous amount of HP. I can't even read it. Naoya applies the frame lock to every single one of them. It's going to take a while, but then he will start shattering them. And you can see slowly, maybe now, that he is actually taking chunks of their HP. It's not the Gojo's blue damage doing its work. No, it's not. It's not doing anything to those enemies. Naoya is taking a chunk of every single mob's HP here. And this is only one ultimate. And right now I will show you, you can clearly see this in the tower statistics. You can see the damage dealt. Naoya has dealt 500 trillion damage. Like, when I first saw this, I was like flabbergasted. I started regretting balancing this tower this way. Gojo only dealt 90 billion, so this is absolutely ridiculous, but obviously this is high wave endless gauntlet and Naoya cannot handle it on his own. He will definitely be a great support to your team to take chunks of enemies HP, but he will need somebody else to deal the rest of the health, to deal the rest of the damage to the enemies. So this is it for Naoya Showcase. Let me know what do you think about this unit. I'm pretty excited about releasing it. Let me know if you change anything. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase and see you around. Bye.